Have you ever wondered why some people keep moving forward in life while others stay stuck in the same place year after year? It's not always luck, connections, or even raw talent. The difference often comes down to one simple habit: the commitment to learn something new every single day. Knowledge is like fuel, and the more you gather, the further you can travel. Every book you read, every lesson you absorb, every new skill you practice adds another piece to the foundation of the life you are building. But here's the truth. If you are not actively educating yourself daily, you are unintentionally choosing to fall behind because the world keeps moving. Whether you do or not, daily education is more than just studying facts or memorizing information. It's about training your mind to grow, to adapt, and to see opportunities where others only see obstacles. It's about becoming sharper, wiser, and stronger with each passing day. Imagine looking back 1 year from now and realizing you've read dozens of books, listened to meaningful conversations, learned powerful new skills, and gained insights that completely reshaped how you live and think. That version of you would feel unstoppable compared to who you are today. And that's why you clicked on this video. Deep down, you know you're capable of more. You know that if you start educating yourself daily, your life won't just slightly improve. It will transform in ways you can't even imagine right now. So stay with me until the end, because by the time we finish, you'll understand not only why daily education is essential, but also how it can unlock a future filled with confidence, freedom, and success. 1. Daily education expands your perspective. One of the greatest powers of educating yourself daily is that it stretches the way you see the world. Every time you learn something new, whether it's from a book, a podcast, a conversation, or even a short article, you're adding another lens through which to view life. Most people live inside a very narrow box of understanding, shaped by where they grew up, who they surround themselves with, and the limited experiences they've had. Without realizing it, they are trapped inside the walls of their own perspective. But daily education tears those walls down. It introduces you to new ideas, new cultures, new ways of thinking, and even new solutions to problems you thought had no answers. Think about it. When you only see the world from your own angle, your choices are limited, your mindset is rigid, and your growth is slow. But when you consistently expose yourself to new knowledge, your perspective widens. Suddenly, you start noticing opportunities others are blind to. You begin to understand people better because you can see life through their eyes as well as your own. And most importantly, you gain the ability to step outside of your current struggles and view them from a higher, clearer angle. What once felt impossible begins to look solvable. What once felt confusing begins to make sense. This is the true gift of expanding your perspective through daily education. It doesn't just give you information, it gives you transformation. It changes not only what you know, but how you think. And the way you think determines the life you create. So if you want to live with clarity, creativity, and confidence, commit to feeding your mind every day. Because each piece of knowledge you gather is like opening a window to a bigger, brighter world. 2. Daily education strengthens your confidence. When you commit to educating yourself daily, something powerful begins to happen inside you. Your confidence grows. Most people think confidence comes from being naturally outgoing or simply believing in yourself. But real, lasting confidence is built on preparation, knowledge, and growth. Every piece of wisdom you gain, every skill you practice, and every insight you apply becomes a foundation beneath your feet. Instead of walking into situations uncertain and doubtful, you walk in knowing you've done the work to strengthen your mind. Think of it this way. Confidence isn't pretending you know everything. It's knowing that you are capable of learning anything. And when you make daily learning a non-negotiable part of your life, you start proving to yourself that you can handle challenges, adapt to changes, and rise above obstacles. That small act of showing up to educate yourself builds trust within you. You stop doubting your ability to figure things out because you've trained your brain to seek answers, not excuses. Over time, this confidence becomes unshakable. It shows in the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, and the way you respond to setbacks. Instead of shrinking in the face of difficulties, you stand taller because you know you're equipped with the tools to keep moving forward. Educating yourself daily is like adding layer after layer of armor. Not the kind that hides you, but the kind that makes you stronger, sharper, and braver. Confidence doesn't come from hoping for the best. It comes from preparing your mind for the best. And the more you invest in learning, the more you'll realize that confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. 3. Daily education sharpens your mind. Daily education is like taking your brain to the gym. Just as muscles grow when you challenge them with resistance, your mind sharpens when you feed it with new knowledge, perspectives, and skills. The brain is not fixed. It's adaptable, constantly rewiring itself based on what you expose it to. By committing to learn something new every day, you prevent mental stagnation and instead keep your thinking sharp, flexible, and alive. When you sharpen your mind, you give yourself an advantage that goes far beyond memorizing facts or reading books. You learn how to think critically, how to see connections others miss, and how to approach problems with clarity rather than confusion. Most people go through life letting their thoughts dull with routine, but the ones who choose daily education are always sharpening their edge. That edge becomes noticeable in conversations, in decision-making, and in the way you handle opportunities. Imagine walking into a challenge with a dull blade versus a sharpened one. A dull mind hesitates, overthinks, and gets stuck. But a sharpened mind slices through complexity because it has been trained daily to analyze, to question, and to adapt. This isn't about knowing everything. It's about having a mind that's ready for anything. And here's the best part. The sharper your mind becomes, the more you crave growth. Learning stops feeling like a chore and starts becoming fuel. Each new insight excites you. Each new skill makes you stronger. And each daily step you take sharpens you for the bigger challenges and opportunities ahead. Educating yourself daily isn't just about storing information. It's about forging a mind that's sharper, faster, and more resilient than yesterday. 4. Daily education increases your opportunities. The more you educate yourself daily, the more doors begin to open for you. Doors you may not even have noticed before. Knowledge has a way of creating opportunities because it changes the way you see the world. What once looked like a dead end suddenly becomes a pathway when you've trained your mind with fresh skills and insights. Daily education builds confidence, and confidence attracts chances. Employers, partners, and even strangers are drawn to people who know how to express ideas, solve problems, and carry themselves with intelligence. Opportunities rarely fall into your lap by luck alone. They come when preparation meets the right moment. Every day you learn, you're preparing yourself for those moments. Maybe it's a new career chance, a conversation with someone who could change your path, or even a personal project that could transform your life. With a mind enriched daily, you don't just wait for opportunity. You recognize it, you seize it, and you create it. Think of education as a magnet. The more you feed your mind, the stronger the pull becomes. People notice your awareness, your curiosity, your ability to contribute value. And because of that, opportunities start flowing toward you. Not because you're lucky, but because you've built yourself into someone ready to receive them. That is the true power of educating yourself daily. It multiplies the chances available to you, and it ensures you're sharp enough to act on them when they appear. 5. Daily education builds lasting discipline. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you train, just like a muscle. Daily education is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen that muscle because it teaches you consistency, patience, and the ability to keep showing up even when you don't feel like it. Every time you commit to learning, whether it's reading for 20 minutes, practicing a new skill, or diving into a subject that challenges you, you're not just filling your mind with knowledge. You're building the discipline that will carry you through every area of life. Discipline creates freedom. It may sound strange, but the more you train yourself to follow through on small daily habits like educating your mind, the freer you become in the long run. Why? Because discipline gives you control over your actions instead of letting laziness, procrastination, or distractions control you. If you can stay committed to educating yourself every day, you prove to yourself that you can commit to anything. Fitness, financial goals, relationships, or building a career. That self-control is priceless. When you skip learning, nothing changes. But when you choose to educate yourself daily, even for a short period, you're sending a message to your brain. I'm in charge. Over time, this consistency transforms into an identity. You no longer see yourself as someone who gives up easily, but as someone who shows up no matter what. That identity becomes the foundation for lasting discipline, and once you've built it, it will never leave you. This is why daily education matters so much. It's not just about what you learn today. It's about who you become tomorrow. And the person you're becoming is someone stronger, more focused, and unstoppable. Because they've mastered the discipline to keep growing every single day. 6. Daily education develops your emotional intelligence. Knowledge isn't only about facts and logic. It's also about understanding yourself and others on a deeper level. When you commit to educating yourself daily, you naturally strengthen your emotional intelligence. The ability to recognize, manage, and respond to emotions in a healthy and productive way. Each book you read, each conversation you reflect on, each new perspective you study opens your mind to human behavior, empathy, and self-awareness. This daily learning shapes how you handle challenges, how you connect with people, and how you react when life gets difficult. Emotional intelligence is a skill that separates those who merely survive from those who truly thrive. Think about it. The most successful people aren't always the ones with the highest IQ, but often the ones who can manage stress, navigate relationships, and inspire others through calmness and understanding. By educating yourself daily, you gain new tools to regulate your emotions, prevent small setbacks from becoming overwhelming problems, and see situations from multiple angles instead of reacting blindly. And here's the powerful part. Emotional intelligence compounds with time. Every lesson you take in, every insight you apply, slowly rewires your mind to become more patient, more understanding, and more resilient. You'll start noticing your responses changing. Less frustration, more clarity. Less conflict, more harmony. That doesn't happen overnight, but daily education fuels this quiet transformation. The result? You become someone who can lead, influence, and inspire because people trust you. They feel understood in your presence. They see stability in you when everything else feels uncertain. And that ability to control yourself while connecting with others is one of the greatest strengths you can ever build. Daily education isn't just sharpening your brain, it's refining your heart. 7. Daily education empowers your future. Every single piece of knowledge you add to your mind is like placing a brick in the foundation of your future. The beauty of daily education is that it compounds. Small efforts today create massive opportunities tomorrow. When you commit to learning every day, you are not just preparing for the challenges in front of you. You are equipping yourself for challenges you don't even see yet. You are building the mindset, the skills, and the resilience that will empower you to face whatever life throws your way. Think about this. The world is changing faster than ever before. Technology, industries, and opportunities are constantly evolving, and the people who thrive are not the ones who sit back and wait, but the ones who stay curious and keep growing. By educating yourself daily, you're future-proofing your life. You're ensuring that no matter how the world shifts, you'll always have the ability to adapt, to reinvent yourself, and to step confidently into new possibilities. And here's the secret. Education gives you options. The more you know, the more choices you create for yourself. You won't feel trapped in a single path because you'll have the skills and knowledge to pivot, to innovate, to build something new if one door closes. That freedom, that ability to create your own opportunities instead of waiting for them, is what truly empowers your future. Most people underestimate what consistent learning can do for them in 5, 10, or even 20 years. But imagine yourself a decade from now. Wiser, sharper, more resilient, and more capable simply because you made the choice to educate yourself daily. That future version of you will thank the present you for never giving up on growth. Because the truth is, education doesn't just prepare you for the future. It gives you the power to shape it. 8. Daily education improves your communication skills. One of the most powerful gifts of educating yourself daily is the transformation it brings to the way you communicate. Every article you read, every podcast you listen to, every idea you expose yourself to adds depth to your thoughts and clarity to your words. Communication isn't just about speaking, it's about connecting, making people feel understood, inspired, and motivated through the way you express yourself. Daily learning strengthens this ability because it constantly feeds your mind with new perspectives, new vocabulary, and new ways of understanding the world. Think about how many doors in life are opened through conversations, interviews, opportunities, relationships, partnerships, even friendships. The person who communicates with confidence and clarity will always stand out. By educating yourself daily, you give your words weight because they are backed by knowledge. People begin to listen not just to your voice, but to the substance behind it. And when you can express your thoughts with confidence, you naturally gain respect and influence. There's also an emotional side to this. Education sharpens not only your logic, but also your empathy. When you learn daily, you begin to understand different cultures, different struggles, and different viewpoints. This makes your communication richer because you're not just speaking. You're relating, you're connecting, you're building bridges instead of walls. And that ability to connect deeply with others is one of the most valuable skills you can ever develop. So, imagine yourself walking into any room, whether it's a meeting, a presentation, or a casual conversation, knowing that your words carry strength. That confidence doesn't come by accident. It comes from the daily habit of feeding your mind, expanding your understanding, and practicing how to articulate it. Educating yourself daily doesn't just change how you think. It transforms how you speak, how you listen, and ultimately, how the world receives you. 9. Daily education boosts your creativity. Daily education isn't just about filling your mind with facts. It's about unlocking new ways of thinking. Every piece of knowledge you consume is like adding another tool to your creative toolbox. Creativity thrives on variety. The more you expose yourself to new ideas, disciplines, and perspectives, the more connections your brain starts to make between seemingly unrelated things. That's when sparks of originality begin to fly. By educating yourself daily, you create the conditions where creativity isn't random. It becomes a habit. Think about it. Some of the world's most innovative minds weren't just specialists. They were lifelong learners who pulled ideas from everywhere. They read across subjects, listened to different voices, and never stopped feeding their curiosity. That's why their creativity seemed limitless. They had more raw material in their minds to work with. When you commit to learning daily, whether through books, articles, podcasts, or conversations, you are constantly refreshing your perspective. You stop recycling the same thoughts, and instead, you begin generating new ones that stand out. Creativity also requires courage. The courage to think differently, to suggest something bold, to create where others only repeat. Daily education fuels that courage by giving you a deeper understanding of the world. The more you learn, the more confident you become in your ability to take risks with your ideas. And when you combine confidence with knowledge, your creativity becomes unstoppable. You stop asking, "What if I'm wrong?" and instead start asking, "What if this changes everything?" Most importantly, creativity is not limited to art or music. It's a skill for life. It's the way you solve problems at work, the way you adapt when life challenges you, the way you innovate in your career or personal growth. And that skill grows stronger every time you educate yourself. So, if you want to live a life that feels inspired and original, make daily learning your foundation. Feed your mind, and you'll find your creativity flowing in ways you never imagined. 10. Daily education keeps you relevant. The world is moving faster than ever before. Technology is advancing, industries are evolving, and the way we live, work, and communicate changes almost overnight. If you stop learning, you stop growing. And in a world that never slows down, standing still is the same as falling behind. Educating yourself daily isn't just about gaining knowledge for curiosity's sake. It's about staying equipped to adapt, to evolve, and to remain relevant no matter how much the world shifts around you. Think about it. The skills that were valuable 10 years ago might already be outdated today, and the opportunities of tomorrow will belong to those who are prepared for them. By feeding your mind every single day, you keep yourself sharp, informed, and ready to move with the times instead of being left behind by them. Daily learning makes you adaptable. When others panic at change, you see it as an opening because you've trained your mind to adjust quickly and confidently. Relevance isn't about being trendy. It's about being capable. It's about having the awareness, the skills, and the mindset to thrive in whatever environment you find yourself in. The person who commits to learning daily will always be one step ahead, not because they know everything, but because they never stop growing. They're not chained to the past. They're prepared for the future. And here's the truth. The world doesn't wait for anyone. Either you learn, adapt, and grow, or you risk becoming invisible in a world that rewards those who evolve. Educating yourself daily ensures that your value, your perspective, and your voice remain powerful and necessary no matter how much things change. In a constantly shifting world, that's not just an advantage, it's survival. 11. Daily education strengthens problem-solving skills. Life is full of challenges, some small, some overwhelming. And the truth is, your ability to face them depends on how sharp and adaptable your mind is. Daily education acts like training for your brain, keeping it flexible and ready for the unexpected. When you dedicate even a little time each day to learning, you're not just absorbing knowledge. You're also building mental pathways that help you see solutions faster, make smarter decisions, and remain calm when problems arise. Think about it. Every book you read, every concept you explore, every new perspective you absorb becomes another tool in your mental toolbox. Over time, this daily practice transforms how you approach difficulties. Instead of panicking or feeling stuck, you start analyzing, breaking issues down, and creating step-by-step solutions. That's the true power of daily education. It trains your mind to focus on possibilities instead of obstacles. When others freeze under pressure, you move forward. When others see only roadblocks, you see alternatives. And when life throws you challenges you never expected, your habit of daily learning equips you to adapt, adjust, and overcome. Education isn't just about knowing more. It's about thinking better. And the more you commit to it daily, the stronger your problem-solving skills become. 12. Daily education enhances your self-awareness. Most people go through life without truly knowing themselves. They move on autopilot, reacting to situations, following routines, and carrying habits they never question. But daily education changes this. When you commit to learning every single day, not just facts, but ideas, perspectives, and wisdom, you naturally begin to reflect more deeply on who you are, what you value, and where you are headed. Every piece of knowledge you gain acts like a mirror, showing you a side of yourself you may have ignored before. Reading about human psychology helps you recognize your own emotions and triggers. Exploring history gives you insight into why you think the way you do. Learning philosophy or self-development tools teaches you to ask yourself better questions. Am I living according to my values? Am I improving or just repeating the same cycle? Through this daily process, self-awareness becomes less of a vague idea and more of a practical skill. You notice patterns in your thoughts, strengths you can build on, and weaknesses you can finally address. You stop drifting aimlessly and start living with purpose. Because the truth is, when you understand yourself better, you can direct your energy toward growth instead of wasting it on confusion, doubt, or distractions. That's why daily education is so powerful. It's not just about learning the world outside of you. It's also about exploring the world inside of you. And the more you study, reflect, and grow, the more aligned your actions become with the person you want to be. 13. Daily education grows your financial intelligence. Money touches every part of life. Your freedom, your choices, your opportunities, even your peace of mind. Yet so many people avoid learning about it. They work hard, they earn, they spend, but they don't take the time to truly understand how money works. That's why financial stress becomes one of the biggest sources of anxiety for millions. But here's the truth. You can change that by making financial education part of your daily routine. When you dedicate just a little time each day to learning about money, whether it's budgeting, investing, saving, or building multiple streams of income, you're not just learning numbers, you're building security. You start seeing money not as something that controls you, but as a tool you can control. Reading a book on personal finance, listening to a podcast about wealth building, or even studying how successful people manage their assets all adds up day by day to financial intelligence. Financial intelligence gives you confidence. It helps you make smarter decisions, avoid debt traps, and prepare for the future. It teaches you to delay gratification, to invest in your growth, and to think long-term instead of chasing quick wins. Most importantly, it gives you freedom. The freedom to choose the life you want. Instead of being stuck in one you cannot afford to leave. Daily education is the secret here. One lesson won't change your life, but consistent learning will. Just imagine how much you can transform in 1 year if you spend even 15 minutes a day studying money. That's over 90 hours of financial wisdom gained in a single year. And that knowledge doesn't just stay in your mind. It translates into habits, investments, and opportunities that will benefit you for decades. So, if you want to build a future where stress is replaced with security, where limits are replaced with choices, then commit to this simple discipline. Educate yourself daily and grow your financial intelligence. 14. Daily education deepens your resilience. Life will always test you. Challenges, setbacks, disappointments, and unexpected changes are part of the journey. Some people crumble under that weight, while others rise stronger with every obstacle. The difference isn't luck, it's resilience. And resilience is not something you're simply born with. It's something you build, and daily education is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen it. When you educate yourself every day, you're not just filling your mind with knowledge. You're training your spirit to adapt, to grow, and to endure. Each book you read, each idea you explore, each new perspective you consider equips you with tools to face uncertainty with courage. Knowledge becomes your armor. It gives you options when life corners you, solutions when problems overwhelm you, and perspective when fear tries to cloud your vision. Think about it. A resilient person doesn't avoid pain or pretend difficulties don't exist. They face challenges head-on, but they do so with preparation. Daily education prepares you. It gives you mental strength to say, "This situation is hard, but I know I can learn from it. I know I can grow through it." Resilience isn't about never breaking. It's about learning how to bend, adapt, and come back even stronger than before. And the beauty is, resilience multiplies when paired with daily education. Reading about history shows you how people survived wars, loss, and impossible odds. Studying psychology teaches you how the mind can heal and rebuild after trauma. Exploring philosophy reminds you that suffering has always been part of the human story, but meaning can always be found. With every lesson, you're reminded that you are not powerless, you are not alone, and you are more capable than you think. So, if you want to live a life where challenges don't define you but refine you, then make resilience your daily practice. Educate yourself daily, because every lesson you absorb is another brick in the foundation of your inner strength. The storms of life will come, but with resilience built through knowledge, you won't just survive them. You'll grow through them. 15. Daily education unlocks lifelong curiosity. Curiosity is the spark that keeps the human spirit alive. It's the quiet voice inside you that whispers, "What if?" Or, "Why not?" It's the force that pushes explorers to sail into uncharted waters, inventors to dream up solutions no one thought possible, and ordinary people to grow into extraordinary versions of themselves. But here's the truth. Curiosity isn't something you lose with age. It's something you stop feeding. And the way to keep it alive, to keep it burning brightly, is through daily education. When you commit to educating yourself every single day, you are choosing to remain curious about life. You're choosing to ask new questions, to search for deeper answers, and to open your mind to worlds you've never known. Daily education is the fuel that transforms curiosity from a fleeting feeling into a lifelong companion. Each time you read a book, listen to a lecture, or dive into a new subject, you remind yourself that there is still so much left to discover, and that discovery is one of the purest joys of living. Curiosity also keeps you humble. It teaches you that no matter how much you think you know, there is always another layer, another truth, another perspective waiting to be explored. And that humility is powerful. It prevents stagnation. It stops arrogance from taking root. It keeps you evolving, learning, and staying connected to the world around you. Imagine what your life would look like if every day you woke up not just to survive, but to explore, to ask one more question, to learn one more thing, to expand your mind one more inch. That's what daily education does. It transforms your days from routine into adventure. It takes the ordinary and makes it extraordinary, because suddenly the world is not just a place you live in, but a place you constantly discover. So don't let your curiosity die in the noise of routine. Protect it, feed it, unlock it. And the way you do that is simple. Educate yourself daily. Because the moment you stop being curious, you stop growing. But if you keep asking, keep seeking, keep learning, you will never stop expanding. And that is the true essence of a life fully lived. At the end of the day, your greatest investment is not in money, possessions, or status. It's in your mind. Knowledge can never be taken away from you, and the person who commits to learning every single day is the person who will always rise above challenges, adapt to change, and create opportunities where others see none. Daily education isn't just about getting smarter. It's about becoming stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the life you dream of. If this message spoke to you, then don't let it end here. Take the next step in your journey. Subscribe to the channel, join this growing community of learners, and commit with us to educate yourself daily. Because together, we can keep growing, keep rising, and keep shaping the future. One lesson at a time.